Hey my LimbO Line, LimbO here, and I'm bringing you part 2 of benefits or pros and cons of hand expressing breast milk, pumping, and of course breast milk. So I'm so excited about bringing you all this part 2. If you remember in part 1 we discussed hand expressing and how it benefits you to do it. Also, we also talked about how to hand express breast milk as well for the ones who weren't familiar with how to go about doing it. So we discussed all that, and it was so much material that I wanted to cover with you all about hand expressing breast milk that I made that a part 1. And I'm so excited I'm able to bring y'all 2 videos this week, y'all. 2. Not 1, but 2 this week. So let's hop into it. But before we get into this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and please make sure that you hit that post notification bell button so that you can be notified every time that I post a video. And welcome to LimbO. So let's go ahead and hop into this video. So the next thing that we're going to talk about now is pumping. We're going to talk about the pros of that. Okay, so everyone basically knows what pumping is, which is you either have your electric pump or your manual pump. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to my video where I discuss the products that you can use for your breastfeeding journey, where I show both the electric pump and the manual pump so that you can know exactly what I'm talking about. But basically with the electric pump, which is what I use, you already know you get I personally use storage bags. You get your storage bags and put it on there. Go ahead and put your suctions on your breast, and you press the button that's on the electric pump and pump away. So we're going to talk about some of the pros of that. And the first pro that we have about that is that you do have more control over your timing. So like with pumping, you do have more control in a sense of you can decide when you want to pump, but make sure that you're consistent, that it's a schedule that you have. But you can't ultimately control the time of your pumping. So for me, I pump like when I do have to pump, which is at work, and I'm going to be doing a video for that for you guys too, for breastfeeding moms pumping at work. But basically with me, I pump every 3 to 4 hours, and I work a 12-hour shift. So I pump every 3 to 4 hours, and that's my time that I chose to do, versus when I'm home and I'm breastfeeding her, I have to do it on her time. So that's one pro about pumping. Another pro is the fact that you're able to share feeding. So because of the fact that I pump and I do have milk stored, because of that, her dad is able to feed her as well, instead of it always being on me. So sometimes if I'm asleep or if I'm out or something like that, and or if if we're at the store or something, and she's hungry, he can easily put the breast milk in a bottle, put her milk in a bottle, and she can go ahead and eat on her own. Or either he can be home while I'm sleeping or something, and he can feed her, give her a bottle, because he has the breast milk that's stored. So it's very convenient for that, so that you don't feel like everything is on you with breastfeeding. Because if you're able to pump, then that really does help with being able to have someone that can feed your baby as well, besides just you. So that's a really good pro, especially for me. Another pro is your supply issues, your milk supply issues. When you pump consistently, especially if you pump after you breastfeed, after every breastfeed, it really does help your body to figure out and to know that, okay, she's pumping, she's producing milk, so she needs more milk supply because of how much she's pumping, how much she's feeding. She needs more milk supply. So your body will start giving you more milk supply as well. So it's really good for that, because and it can also help with because if you get more supply, it can also help you to be able to have more to stash in your freezer, so you have more of like a breast milk stash for you to be able to use. So that's really good too. Also, you get more breaks out of it, as in like if I want to go out because I just need a breather, if I leave her here with her dad, then I know that she's still eating because she has breast milk stored. So that means I can go out for a few hours if I need to. Me and him can go on a date night if we need to, and have our parent or whoever we have watching her, they're able to feed her as well, because they have the breast milk that was stored. So that's really good. It's good for vacation, like if we decided to go on vacation or something, and it's still healthy for your baby. That's the key thing. It's still healthy because it's still your breast milk. So it's still very, very healthy for your baby. Another pro is donor milk. Donor milk, I don't think that people talk about it as much as they should, but it is talked about. But donor milk is just as good as your personal milk. If you're someone who can't produce milk like you want to, but you really want your baby to be breastfed, your baby can still be breastfed without it being your personal breast milk. And I know for a lot of us, we want for it to be our breast milk because it's our baby. But if you're just thinking about your baby's health, and especially if your doctor says that it really would be healthier for you to do breast milk instead, then you should look up milk banks, because milk banks, they have donors who do donate breast milk, and your baby will still get the same healthy supply of breast milk as she or he would have if she was breastfeeding off of you. So that's something to also think about if you are going through that. But the American Academy of Pediatrics, they actually emphasize that all babies should get human milk and encourage exclusive breastfeeding for up to 6 months. So for me, my goal was to at least do 3 months of breastfeeding with her, and if I couldn't make it past then that was okay. But here they're actually saying 6 months. So that's why if you're not able to produce milk, pump milk from a donor would be just as good. And it would be a better option than formula if you feel like that's something that you'll be comfortable with. So if you're having issues with that, that would actually be a good option for you all to try out. If that's something that you might be interested in. The cons of pumping, however, is the fact that you can it's fewer immune system benefits. And when I say there's fewer immune system benefits, what I mean is that your milk may not be as tailored to your baby's needs at any moment. So what I mean by that is, like, when your baby is breastfeeding on you, your baby naturally gets their own customized milk from your body based off of what your body gets from your baby to know what your baby needs. And I'm going to talk about that when we get to the pros of breastfeeding. But basically, your baby's milk is tailored by your body. So if you just pumping and you're giving your baby pump milk, it's just pump milk. It's not really like milk that was able to customize itself to know what your baby needed. So that's one con about it, but it is still healthy because it is still breast milk. Another con is additional expenses. And when I say additional expenses, what I mean is that with pumping, you have to get the parts for pumping. I mean, even if you get an electric pump, that's still, you still have to make sure that you have everything for the electric pump. And besides just the pump itself, you also have to get storage bags and things like that, and cleaning equipment for your pump and everything too. So it does tend to cost when it does come down to pumping. Also, privacy and convenience concerns. A lot of times with pumping, it does lead to inconvenience with privacy. Sometimes if you're in a public place and if you're at work, but you should be able to find a private place if it is at work, and we're going to discuss that when I bring that video up. But at the end of the day, even with it being private, with the privacy and the convenience, also with the electric pump especially, electric pumps are loud. They tend to be kind of loud. So even if you are like in a privacy type of setting, and if there's someone that's in the next room to you or something like that, they can hear the pump going off. So sometimes that might make you feel a little uncomfortable, a little like, you're still not having your complete privacy. So that is another con. And another con is also storage concerns, because when you pump, you do have to store your milk. But at the end of the day, just like any milk, all milk can go bad at some point. Now, with storing milk, when you freeze it, it does tend to last a lot longer than when you put it in the refrigerator. But at the end of the day, even with the frozen milk, it still expires at some point. And we're going to be doing a video on that as well when we do the video on storing your milk. So those are the cons of pumping. So last but not least, we are going to talk about my favorite thing in the world, breastfeeding, and the pros of breastfeeding. But you know what? What I'm going to do, because I love breastfeeding so much, let's get the bad stuff out of the way. We're going to talk about the cons first. Let's go ahead and do that. So the cons for breastfeeding is the fact that you do have less control over timing. when you have less control over timing, that means that basically you're not going based off of your time. Like how I'm able to say, oh, I'm going to pump every 4 hours because that's what I want to do with it. Or even if I don't pump that next 4 hours that just passed, I might decide to pump later on, but still it's my time. I decide to do it that way. Whereas with breastfeeding, you don't have that say so. You have to breastfeed when your baby is hungry because your baby is the one that has to say so at that point. So that's what I mean by less control over timing, because at that point the control is on your baby. Your baby controls when you breastfeed. So that's one of the cons. Another con is the fact, which every breastfeeding mom knows this, you're going to experience sore nipples and other ailments possibly. With sore nipples, you're going to experience that because your body is getting used to the fact of you feeding a baby for hours within the day, throughout the whole day and everything. So you're going to go through that, and you're possibly going to go through other ailments too, like maybe your nipples kind of like being cracked a little bit or something. But all that ties into proper latching, and also goes into how you're taking care of your nipples if they just start feeling sore, so you can prevent other ailments like bleeding, like cracking, or anything like that. If you follow steps like using a nipple shield, using nipple cream, even though you go through that con, or you can't go through that con of soreness or bleeding or anything like that, you could still get over that easily. So it's just a matter of just figuring out what it is that you need personally for you. But if you are going through something like soreness, or if you are going through any other ailments like that, check out my video that I have on ways to help with your soreness and everything. Because just because you're going through soreness, that doesn't mean that you should necessarily quit. It just means maybe you need to change either your latching technique, or maybe you need to do something about maybe applying something to your nipple so that you can help your nipple heal. So it's still not the end of the road if you're going through that. But those are all the cons that I have for breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is awesome. So let's get to these pros, okay? So the pros that I have for breastfeeding is the fact that it's customized food for your baby. I'm going to say that again. It is customized food for your baby. When I say that, what I mean is that when your baby latches onto your nipple, your baby's saliva basically goes into your nipple, and it sends a signal to your brain to tell your body what your baby needs. I'm going to say that again. When your baby latches onto your nipple, because this is some good information, y'all. When your baby latches onto your nipple, your baby's saliva goes into your nipple, and it sends a signal to your brain to let your body know what your baby needs. And when I say that, what I mean is your baby could be sick. If your baby is sick, it'll send that signal to your brain to let your body know, oh, I need to send some type of antibiotics into your milk supply for your baby. Or if your baby is dehydrated, oh, I need to send some water into this milk supply for the baby. That's what your body, isn't that awesome? That is what that does. That is like, y'all don't even need to know any more pros. That's all the pro you need. That's the biggest pro that you need right there. But I'm going to keep on going though. So the next pro that you have is that it's a natural feedback loop. So with that, what I mean is that your breast milk produces more milk when your baby feeds more. So the more that your baby feeds on you, like let's say a newborn baby normally feeds every 2 hours or so. So with your baby feeding every 2 hours faithfully, your milk supply in your brain is going to send that signal to your body again to let your body know, oh, this baby needs more milk. So your body is going to naturally give itself more milk supply for your baby to make sure that your baby gets enough food. But the best thing about that, y'all, sis, is that your milk supply, it won't become an overflow for your baby. Like your body will know exactly how much milk supply to give you. Isn't that crazy? Like, come, y'all not getting this. I don't think y'all understanding me over here, but we're going to keep on going with these pros, okay? The other pro about it is the fact that it is convenient and affordable. Now, I know y'all heard me on that one. It is convenient and affordable. When I say convenient, what I mean is you don't have to use a bottle. You don't have to clean out a bottle. You don't have to get milk out. You don't have to get powder and when I say that, no offense, because to each his own, Formula is good for, as long as your baby eats, that's all that I care about at the end of the day, as long as your baby's getting fed. But when it comes down to breast milk, it's convenient because you don't have to get a bottle, you don't have to get water, you don't have to get powder. All you have to do is just get your breast. Get your breast. Get a cover. If you have a breast feeding cover, make sure that you use a breastfeeding cover sometimes if that makes you feel more comfortable. But either way it goes, if you're at home, all you have to do is just make sure that you get your baby, bring out your breast, feed your baby. That's very convenient. And you can do that anywhere. That's very convenient. The other one that I said was affordability. You don't have to pay for nothing. That's coming from you. So that's $0. How much more affordable do you need it to be? $0. So that's like, matter of fact, that's, no, you know what? I'm going to keep the other one as number one for the biggest one. Because customizing the milk, I don't think you can top that right there. Even with it being affordable, I don't think you can top that. Also, it's easy soothing. So like if your baby kind of seems anxious, scared, or kind of hurt or something like that, it's very soothing. A lot of times when I feed Araya, especially if she's really sleepy, but she's kind of like feeling kind of like anxious, like I just want to fight this sleep. If I breastfeed her, a lot of times she just soothes herself on down and she goes right to sleep. Like it really is like a soothing mechanism for your baby. And that's it's like a therapy for your baby in a way. So it really helps them kind of soothe and calm down and just wind down and, you know, just get comfortable and chilled and just go to sleep or quiet down or whatever it is that they need to do. Because sometimes even when they're breastfeeding, they use your nipple as a pacifier as well. Now, don't encourage nobody to let your baby use your nipple as a pacifier for a long period of time. But sometimes, even when I know that Araya isn't necessarily still eating off of me, I know that she's using my nipple as a pacifier to kind of still soothe her. So I'll let her still do that for a little while. Not for a long time, though, because you don't want for that to damage your nipple at the end of the day. So that's up to y'all. But that's what I do. So that's another pro. Another pro that I have for you guys is bonding time. So with bonding time, basically the skin to skin thing that I always preach that to y'all. Skin to skin is very important when it comes down to you and your baby. And that's another skin to skin thing. And then also when you bonding with your baby like that, it helps you to learn each other. Learns each other's cues, each other's personality. I know Araya to the T. My little baby, she is a sassy little girl, but she loves me to death. But that's her personality. She's a sassy baby. That's how she is. Like, it's very, like, bonding time is wonderful. It's great because it really helps you to be able to learn your baby, figure out your baby. I use that time actually to examine my baby or to observe her as well. So like when she's breastfeeding on me, especially like when she closing her eyes and going to sleep and stuff, I look at her up and down, see if there's anything new that I haven't seen before on her or something like that. I use that time to bond with her as well as observe her, because sometimes with her moving around, and especially with her being almost 9 months now, you know, she's a busybody now. So when she's still like that and just feeding off of me, it's easy for me to kind of examine her to see how she's doing, see how her body is looking, see how everything, if there's anything that I've missed. So I love using that time as bonding time for me and her, especially the bonding part of it, because that's when you see, that's one of the times that you see the sweetest side of your baby. Like it's just, bonding time is amazing with breastfeeding. Bonding time is amazing. Also, another thing that I have for you guys is just a fact that I happened to run across, which was that studies show that newborn babies have a strong physiological need to be close with their caregiver. So they have a strong need for physical contact with their caregiver. So the fact of you breastfeeding, especially when it's skin to skin, that's really, really good for them to be able to really get a closer bond and really get that physical touch that they need as a newborn baby. So that's really good. But at the end of the day, expressing breast milk, pumping, and breastfeeding, all of those still offer extensive benefits because you're still giving your baby breast milk. And breast milk is the #1 healthiest thing that you could ever give your baby. Another pro that I want to say before I end this video about breastfeeding is the fact that it's also good to help give your baby a less chance of getting sick within their year of coming into this world. It really does help. I'm not going to say that it prevents them from getting sick completely, because at the end of your baby is still human, but it does lessen the chance of them getting sick because of that breast milk, and because your breast milk is always growing with them and always bringing in extra vitamins and antibodies and everything that your baby needs as your baby grows, because it's customized. I'm not even gonna talk about. I'm about to talk about the customization. We ain't even. We're done with the customizing. We're done. We're done. Let's go. Move on. Moving on. But yeah, y'all, so that's everything that I have for you all when it comes down to the pros and cons of hand expressing milk, pumping, and breastfeeding. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm still on this customizing of the breast milk thing, y'all, but we're gonna move on along with it, okay? If you all have any suggestions of some more videos that you all want to see, please make sure and feel free to put it down in the comments down below. I do check my comments so that I will know what you all are looking for, because as I always say, I'm here to help you guys out during your journey. We're here to do this together because we ain't no quittas, okay? So we're going to make sure that we continue to do this. Like I always tell you all, make sure that you follow my page on Facebook, LimbO. That's a capital L, capital O. Make sure that you follow that so that you can always be up to date when I post a video. And also make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and that you hit that bell notification button too, sis. You gotta hit that bell notification little tag button so that you can know when I post, so that you can have this information that I'm giving out. But as always, you guys, I love the fact that you're trusting me to help you all on this breastfeeding journey. So let's continue to push through this, sis. As always, y'all stay blessed. Bye.